What I want to talk to us about today is the Bible, as always, right? Only thing different about this day is that I really want you to think about this, okay? I know I'm probably asking you to do a lot when I say that, but this is necessary. Because what I'm coming to find out is when you look into this world we live in, that we are constantly begging people to read. Now, the one book that tells you about salvation, heaven, hell, tells you about creation, tells you about a creator. It tells you about one way into heaven. It tells you everything you need to know as far as how to stay out of hell and how to get into heaven. It tells you everything you need to know. It is the key to your life. And what's puzzling about all that there is that no matter how often and how much you beg people to just listen, pay attention. Because see, without this Bible, you have not heard of such a love where someone just laid down their life for people that hate them. Not only do people hate God and hate the Bible, they refuse to do what it says. Now that's a perfect example of hate. Because see, if you hate something, you won't do it. And if you choose not to read the Bible, as much as God makes a point to tell us about his word, I'm going to go for one example is Joshua. Great man of God, studious servant of God up under the hand of Moses. Great young man. But listen to how God directed him. Let's just hear this word. Okay. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all, I'll repeat, do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? This is God speaking. Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. That is a confirmation of who you're walking with. Now you have the confirmation of who you're walking with. Now you're going to do what he told you to do. Remember how when Jesus said this here in the book of Luke chapter 6 verse 46. Glory be to God. Because see, even Jesus Christ had this problem. As we still have this problem today. And why call you me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? So if Jesus is already saying, you're stubborn, you're hard-headed, you won't listen. God gave you precise instructions on how he teaches his children and how he gives order and direction to his children by letting them know that this book of the law should not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Your mind's supposed to be locked in and focused on what God has in store for you. Paul even explained it like this. Glory be to God. Book of Philippians, chapter 4. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. If there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Remember how he said, but first seek ye the kingdom and his righteousness, and he shall then give you the desires of your heart. Let's see where that scripture is. Remember this now. You got to remember these things. Because see, he didn't write this down for you to play with. He didn't write these words down for you to think, maybe no. He wrote these down for your salvation. For your opportunity to be able to sit with God and his son and all that pertains to the Father himself. You need to understand him. You cannot honestly believe God is just going to let you in being stubborn, disobedient, and disrespectful still. When God was precisely serious about how this worked. Let's see how Jesus put it. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. All these things. Everybody looks at God like a genie in a lamp, unfortunately. They say they love God one day, do all he tell them one day, then when the clock strikes 12, we change back to something different. Like what's that thing called Cinderella? That crazy fathom of an imagination that people have. That's how they treat God. They don't listen to him. They don't take the time to honestly put his word first. God made it quite clear how we're supposed to walk this earth, so that you will not stumble and fall as we have so miserably have done. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths. And if he's going to direct your paths, this is what he's going to tell you. The first he said, acknowledge him first, and he shall direct our paths. Hold that thought. Let's go back to how he directed Joshua, because Joshua had to get directed. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. That is one way. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do all according to all the law. All the law, which Moses, my servant, commanded thee. Once again, commandment to follow. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left. This is acknowledging God in all thy ways. So if you don't go right or left, and if you remember how when Jesus said it here, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it. If you have not spent the time to learn and just ponder on why God put you here, and not just put you here, but someone else next to you, you're going to fall into a really grave mistake that's going to come upon your life. And it's not that you should ever wish that upon nobody. But if God makes a point to say that he will not be mocked, and many people say that God is there all in all and everything in between. But see, God is not to be mocked. And he gave precise instructions on how things are supposed to be. The unfortunate circumstances to that is that we have not listened to nothing. Because we still do the same thing day in and day out. We don't change nothing. We don't open the Bible as often as we can. We don't even go as far as make it the most evident thing in our lives by what we say and what we do. Because see, one minute we're one way, another minute we're another way. You can't jump in the boat, then jump out the boat, then jump back in the boat again. Because see, there's going to be that one time that boat's not going to let you in. And just as you thought you was going the right way, you had a rude awakening waiting. Because see, the Bible puts it like this. This is the book of the commandments of God. Here we go. And the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. That is that jumping in and out, in and out. But see, God feels like this towards those people that choose to be that way. We got a couple of explanations for that. First one being this one here. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. You just heard him say you will get nothing. You have nothing to look forward to because you don't believe in his word. Because this is what's happening. If we believe in what this Bible is saying at all, and if you hear how God puts it here about what a pure religion is, which was supposed to be a reflection of what you believe and stand for. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this. This is true religion right here. To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Keep himself unspotted from the world. Listen to the scriptures, please. And then we keep going. And we know that we are of God, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. If any man see his brother sin a sin which is not unto death, he shall ask, and he shall give him life for them that sin not unto death. How do you do that? You tell people their wrongs. And you let people know that what they're doing, they should not do no more. You just heard him say, be courageous. Don't walk around in fear of what another person can say to you. Because what can they say if you're telling them the truth? What can people tell you if you're telling them you got to change some things? Some things are just not good to do anymore. And the one thing to do not no more is sin. Because God made it quite clear how he feels about sin. It tells you here in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 15, he hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin. And if the Bible makes it clear to say that all unrighteousness is sin, then that means just that. Don't do it anymore. He has to mean something. Glory be to God. We know that whosoever is born of God sinneth not. But he that is begotten of God keepeth himself. There you go. Hold yourself accountable. And understand what you believe in to be true. Because if you believe that it is the truth, you're going to follow it. You're going to follow the instructions. You're just going to do what God says. Why? Because you fear him. And why should you fear him? Because if you don't fear him, you're going to keep doing things that he hates the most. And if he makes the points to tell you exactly what to fear God is, here we go. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. That means not an evil word or evil action should be seen or known of you. Becoming saints. Since you're calling yourself a man or a woman of God, you call yourself someone that believes and trusts in God, then there should be no ill will in you at all. Because you should know how to carry yourself. You should understand what he said here in this Bible. But he that is begotten of God, meaning you of love of God, keepeth himself. Keepeth himself. You keep yourself in check. And you follow the instructions that Paul left. Because remember when Paul said this here? In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. So if you're doing what Paul did, this is what Paul did to make sure he did it right. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. How can I tell you to believe in God if I don't? And if he tells you here, even so, hath the Lord ordained, meaning what? Signed, sealed, delivered instructions, that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. Meaning what? He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin. You have no excuse. We have none. But we keep wanting to bring them up. You're going to burn for that. Glory be to God.